Radical.
Welcome to Flea Market Stories, documenting one man's journey into the world of flea marketing. This was a busy day. I forget about sales. I think sales were okay, but there was a lot of things that happened on this day. But I don't want this to be super long, so I'll try to get through these as quick as possible. When I got there, I had a plan for how everything would go. I brought a lot of stuff there. I even brought a little extra bit of furniture, basically a little stand. My idea was I would bring pretty much all the systems so I could show that the controllers I had for sale worked. I would have like a switchboard. I could quickly switch between all the systems. And it turned out to be just very messy. And I didn't have a lot of room to work with. And I thought against it. I'm not going to try it again because it's helpful, of course, to have a system so I can hook up a controller and see that it works. But that's good in theory. But in practice, what happens is you spend so much time trying to unhook and rehook the systems to, the TV and to demo it out that you have wires crossed all over each other. And it's just hard to do. It is in my small spot. Now, my spot, I thought I was going to have actually not even my spot, but basically like a little bit of area to the left or the right because no one was to the left of me. No one was to the right of me. When I got there, actually, half the people that were there usually were not there. Maybe they just took the day off. I'm not sure. But remember what I said last time about how the office is breaking their own rules about allowing people to come after 9 o'clock. There was someone that came around 9:30 to the left, and I knew this one was going to be an issue because they started pulling out a whole lot of tables. And there's an unwritten rule that there's the line in between the spots. There's a wide line between both booths. And you don't want to be right up on that line if someone else is there. But he was right on the line. Not over the line, but right on the line. So I couldn't do a Sheldon, pointing like Big Bang Theory. You're in my spot. I couldn't do that because he wasn't technically in my spot. But that's just courtesy. Leave like maybe half foot, something like that. It's the unwritten rule of courtesy. And he was breaking courtesy. But I didn't say anything. That's actually a good move that I didn't say anything because later in the night, I made a new pal. Later in the afternoon, made a new pal. But I'll get to that in a little bit. I didn't say anything. Now, to the right of me, I had some stuff on that table to the right of me. And then someone across said someone they knew was probably going to be in, but she's not sure. And I just had a little bit of things on the table to the right of me, but then they came and I said, my apologies. I'll move these things right here. So between the both of them, the one to the right was not really encroaching that much. But between the left encroachment and the person to the right, I was cinched in on a Sunday. Cinched in. And to add to this, the one person who sadly their stepfather passed away, it's hard to describe these people. I'll just say Angel. Angel is the, teenage guy that is amazingly good with a lot of technical stuff. He is really like whip smart when it comes to a lot of electronics. He's amazing, far beyond me when it comes to electronic stuff, so it's helpful to have him around. But this time he wasn't there at 9. I didn't know if he was going to show up. It's kind of like him. He's always there at 9, right? But I know he's got a lot of family stuff going through a lot of family stuff, of course, whatnot. He was only there for maybe like an hour or two. He said that he was going to have a guest there. So I said, oh, shit. Already, it's me. It's this person. It's the guy with the moped that sometimes comes by and a guest. How many stools am I going to have to bring here? And I have this nightmare scenario where all of us are like cinched up together to where we're basically in the heat smelling each other's like body odor because we're so close together. I'm like, that booth is not meant for a lot of people. And thankfully his guest did not come by. It was just him. I had the 1S set up and I was playing some Dark Souls 3. And one reason I brought the 1S was because I had a lot of Xbox One controllers that I got in a lot. I even have the Razer Ultimate Wolverine that I'm deciding to part with. The really nice one with mechanical buttons. I have that one, a couple others. And I thought, well, if I have 4 or 5 Xbox One controllers and they're priced around like $30, the Wolverine's 60, then people are going to want to connect them and see if they work, other than just saying, well, I guarantee they work. That was the thought behind, like I said, bringing all the game systems. But I'm not going to do that tomorrow because, like I said, just a mess of wires here and there. Surprisingly, I don't think I sold any controllers, even though the weekend I bring a lot of nice controllers. I don't sell any. I was still trying to sell mini systems for this one guy because I sold some early before. I said, hey, wait, it'll come back around. I don't really want to talk about that. Same guy, he showed me some sealed Xbox One games. And what he always does, he's always trying to sell stuff. And I say, hey, man, I got some car stuff going on, this here, and I'm not really buying stuff. I'm trying to break out of the habit of buying things. Last stuff I bought from him in bulk was that huge PS2 gaming lot, which I've already made money back on from that. $150 for 50 PS2 games and a PS2. I mean, I got Godfather. No, not Godfather, but some Twisted Metals. Yeah. Some Need for Speeds. Yeah. Some sought after games I get $20-25 for. So unless it's something like that, I might go for it. He had 5 Xbox One games. They were sealed, 2 MLB The Shows, 2 Need for Speed Heats, and I forget the other one. I think might have been Madden 22, but they were all sealed. So I says to him, I'm not really interested. I mean, I'm not really buying anything. But then he goes away, and I say, well, I'll tell people you got the games down there. But he comes back 30 minutes later, and then he puts them down on my table. He says, like, hey, tell you what, you sell them, and, just keep a little bit and everything. So same deal we got on the mini systems. So he'll learn pretty soon. He'll learn. I'm going to try to get some good money because they're sealed. I'm going to try to charge $25 for the Need for Speed Heats. Me keeping $5 and then him getting 20. The MLB The Show 21s. Maybe 15. And then I'll keep 10 from each one of those. Yeah. What I want to finish all talking about was the guy to the left of me. Now, I'd seen him before. I think him and his kids came by. Might have bought some from me, might have not. One of those deals where he's really talkative. He's really talkative, really happy, kind of goofy. Keeps pointing me and showing me things and whatnot. He says, he's very friendly. He says, I got some games here. I don't want to undersell you. He has some PS3 games. He has Ratchet and Clank, $5. GTA 5, $5. But PS3 is not really my big business. It's 360 stuff. I was tempted to, make him an offer for all of them. But PS3 is not really, I don't care about PS3 competition. I would care if it was maybe PS4 competition or, well, specifically Xbox 360 competition. If he had a system that he was selling for like $30, then of course I'd be like, hey, I'll take that because I'll make money on that. Yeah, I would buy the 360 because you don't want to have a situation where somebody comes by and then they go over there and it's like, oh, you have a 360 for $30? Well, it's bad business, or it's good business basically to buy that if you know it works and you're going to sell it. But I became friends with him because I said, listen, if you ever need a disc clean or something like that, just let me know. If you want me to check those discs and make sure they work before you sell them, let me know. He says he has a 360 that has a stuck disc tray. And some of you might have saw my show off Saturday where I had a guide on fixing those. So the one thing I fix all day, every day, is the disc drive on those older Xbox 360s. Can't fix no red ring of deaths, but I can fix those. So I tell him, bring it, and then I'll bring all my stuff, basically the cleaner, little credit card to pop it open. I said, I'll fix it for you for free. After I fix it, I might make an offer for the system. He might sell it to me for like, $30 or something. He might say, well, hell, you fixed it and I was not going to be able to sell it. So I might get a deal on that too. I'm kind of stockpiling 360s is what I'm saying. I don't want to go low on 360s. I don't even care if I sell a lot of them. It's about having a lot of them because I want to be able to demo what I mostly sell, which is 360 games. So I'm not really hurting or stressed if I don't sell a 360 that I get for 30 for 130, I'll just wait around till I eventually do get it sold. We became pals because you know what he started doing? He started putting things on my table that he says, man, I just got a lot of stuff, you know. This right here, I'm not gonna sell this. It's like a little multiple phone charger for multiple iPads, and it's a plug-in and it has multiple different like little you put together, and you put the little things in the slot and you put the phones in a little spot, and it's maybe good for like a business to where they have like employees charging their phones. It has multiple USBs. I got some good stuff from that box. There was a power cord that will actually work in a PlayStation 4 or a Xbox One. Those power cords, you know, I get maybe $10, $5-10 for those power cords. Okay. And then phone charger cables. There was like 4 or 5 in there. One, I don't know why it was sealed also. So there's some money right there. So basically he put that, even though he can't sell it, I can take pieces off that and I can actually use stuff from there. And what else he gave me? He gave me something that I'm going to find to be very valuable, which is some books. And I think, what all is it? It's like a kit to learn Spanish. He just gave it to me. He says he's not going to sell it here because you know what? Most everyone that's there already speaks Spanish. So that's why he probably couldn't sell it. If it was a book on how to learn English, I joke with him, you know, maybe you can sell it. He gave me those 2 things, and I gave him a pair of sunglasses that, remember I mentioned that I needed to get change the week before, and I just bought something from the guy to get some change. Or basically to thank him in a way without actually thanking him for breaking some money for me. So I gave him the $10 pair of sunglasses. So we're probably going to be buds and we're going to be like trading buddies, which is a good thing. That means if he comes across gaming stuff, I say like, swing by me. I'll make you a good deal for it, you know? So I don't know if he knows exactly what all is the most valuable and whatnot. So he might come across some GameCube games. Hell, if he's selling GTA 5 for PS3 for $5, there might be some lesser games that he has that he just wants to get rid of, you know? Last thing I want to talk about was I left and then got a text from one person about some game stuff. And this was a female about some Xbox controllers. I didn't see her there, but I texted her earlier in the day. I don't see here. She has an Xbox original. She was going to take some Xbox controllers back home and test them for me. And I said, if you test 3, you can take your choice and keep one of them. And then I'll give her some games and say, if you test those Xbox games, tell me what works and what doesn't, you can keep a couple of them. I think it's a pretty good deal. Pretty good deal, I would say. Well, I was thinking it was her that texted me because I didn't put her in the phone or another female that I was talking to in the phone. And yes, both of these females are incredibly attractive, and I don't know if that has any bearing on anything, but just want to mention that they're incredibly attractive. So this one texted me and was not the one I thought of. I was thinking it was the other one, but she mentioned that she was in a blue Dodge. I was thinking Dodge truck. So I was going down the road she was at. She mentioned what row she was on, looking for a blue Dodge truck. I happen to walk by and I see a blue Dodge Charger with big wheels on it. And then I see a very attractive female in really short shorts and like a tube top. And I would have looked in that direction anyway. I didn't notice that she was wearing different stuff than she was the other time when I talked to her. She was a table across from me. She talked about how she liked video games like Skyrim, other things. She was with a boyfriend. But I mean, you know, like most attractive females do have boyfriends and whatnot. And I know a lot of you think I'm just out to get people's girlfriends. No, I'm not. But I mean, hey, you know, I'll talk to attractive women whenever I can because I mean, I'm male, so it is what it is. Doesn't mean I'm going after everybody's woman. No, I generally like to wait until people become single and then pursue them. I'm a gentleman after all, right? So I'm just looking in that direction, and she says hello. There's nothing on the table to sell. I'm thinking she might say hello because she wants to sell things. But I'm just shocked that it was the person, just happened to be. If I was not looking at her behind when she was bending over, if I was not looking in that direction, being a bit of a perv, you know what? She would not have said hello and recognized who I was. I would have just been walking by. She might have still, saw me, but I wouldn't have been looking in her direction. But because, like I said, I got this person confused with the other person. She said she had some 360 games and a box of Blu-rays for $30. Actually, her sister did. And pop the trunk, and I'm looking through the games. I'm going to get them anyways, because, there's a good bit of them, and I can use the cases. I figure 30 for the games. There's Blu-rays. But I said, you know what? I mean, this is not any anime Blu-rays. It's not any Blu-rays that are super desirable. So I said, I think I'm just going to be interested in the games. It was about maybe 20, 25, maybe closer to 20 Xbox 360 games, half being Connect. And she wanted 25 for just the games. But I saw Black Ops in there. I saw Skyrim in there. I saw some other games I can actually work with, even though a lot of them were Connect. Some of them were the harder to find Connect games, I think, like Rise of Nightmares. So I said, you know what? I'll give you a 30. Because, you got some good games here. The Black Ops, I can make 25 easy off of that one. So I was like, you know what? I'll give you 30. Isn't that weird? Usually when you hear about stuff like that, people are trying to pay less and less and less and less and less. But I gave them a fair price for what they had. They might say, that's kind of a stupid business move, Rick. I thought you were a businessman. Let me explain something to you. When you give people a fair price, or even more than they're asking for something, they appreciate that. It's just a little bit more. And like I said, I'm going to make $25 easy off one of those games in that stack, and I needed some cases. They will come to you because they remember you're a person that did not try to whittle them down on something. They might want to see you. So who knows what's going to be. I think it was stuff in her storage container she was getting rid of. Who knows when I'm going to come across some Genesis or Super NES games, or hell, maybe a little Samson. You never know what they're going to have. You never really know. That's usually it's not anything rare usually, but sometimes you get lucky and you treat people good, and then you might get first crack whenever they have some more gaming stuff available.